Okay, hold on. I muted myself. I really meant to mute Jenny.
Would you like me to be on mute?
I did. Okay, now everybody's muted. And I want to know if I can see, I can't do, if you have something to say, first of all, welcome to the team call. Super excited about what we're going to do today. And if you have something to say, because I'm doing this from my iPad, I can't see your faces. So just unmute yourself and interrupt me if you have something to say. We are going to, I have two different agendas today. And let me tell you why I decided to do this. I've decided to go this route because I feel like the actual tasks of being successful in your Plexus business, the sharing about Plexus, the reaching out to people, the following up, those are super simple. The hardest part, I think, about being successful in Plexus is your mindset. And your mindset, as well as your goals, and believing that you can reach your goals. First, really uncovering what your goals are, digging up your why so that you are inspired to wake up and share every single day, and then your mindset. So that's what I want to spend some time on for a few weeks. And of course, we'll do any kind of answering questions, handling objections, doing things like that as often as you guys want on our team page, or we can set up individual coaching calls. But I am going to work from Les Brown's book, Laws of Success. And you don't have to get this book. You can if you want to. It's super short, like 150 pages. So, but there's 12 laws. And it's the line on the cover is 12 laws that turn dreams into reality. And he says this before he digs into the laws, which I thought was really awesome. Your mind will help you to achieve success, but if you aren't listening to your heart, no amount of success will bring you happiness. You need to work toward the right goals by listening to what your heart wants, and then need to learn to enjoy the process. You need to love what you're doing, and you need to love putting in the work. If you don't, then you will never succeed. And I thought that that was really, really awesome. So his first law is listen to your heart. So I just about highlighted the whole book. So I'm going to not read the whole book to you, but I'm going to hit on so this question, this is what he asks almost at the very beginning. I'm going to say this, and then I actually, if you don't mind, I am going to put it so that I can see all your faces, because that will kind of help me know what's going on with you and what your thoughts are. Here's the question. Am I in control of my life? So ask yourself that. Think about it for a second. Nod your head if you think you're in control of your own life. Jenny says yes. Everybody said yes. Okay, now think about this. If you think it through and you really do believe that you are in control of your own life, great. That means you can do whatever you want with your life, right? That means you're doing exactly what you want to do, working the job you want to work, traveling when you want to travel, and generally being happy in your situation. Does this sound like your life? Who's traveling when they want to travel? Who has enough money to like go to the store and see a beautiful outfit and buy it? Who's running other businesses that they don't want to run? So we're not actually in control of our life. We think we are. You know whose lives we're in control of? Our children's. That's whose lives we're in control of. Partially our husbands, because we're mostly the boss of our husbands because we're all type A's. But we're not. We don't have the time freedom or the financial freedom to truly live the way that we're in control of what we do every day. So I read that and I read it again and I said, that's what I'm doing with my team, because this is what we all want, right? Like, A, we love helping people, but B, how great to have the financial and time freedom to do whatever we want when we feel like it. Because our business, we can work from anywhere. Like, it's spring break this week. I don't have the money to take my kids anywhere fancy. Isaac's going to Florida with his friends. My girls were doing nothing. So with my Plexus business, if I had financial freedom, I could load everybody up and head to Cabo and still work my business from my phone, a couple hours a week. But I can't, because I got to make cake pops and I don't have money to go to Cabo. So that's what we're going to do. So clearly, if he says, if you answered no straight out of the gate, great. You're not in control of your life and you're honest. So he says, ask yourself this question every single day so that you just truly know honestly whether you are in control or you're not. And he says it may take weeks, months, or years. The important thing here, though, is that you're aware of who is pulling the strings and whether you're living your life or someone else is living it for you. And where does your dream life truly come from? It comes from the heart. So I had this super, let me read this paragraph and then I'm going to tell you about my aha moment yesterday. Your heart is connected to your purpose. It has a direct line with something more powerful and it knows your role in God's divine plan. Your heart knows why you are here, and it breaks when you don't live in line with the life you're supposed to be living. So I thought with all of our, strong faith in Christ, that made a lot of sense. Here is where I read this all a second time before I wanted to share it with you guys. And here was my aha moment. And this may not be relevant for you guys, but I have a feeling as our team grows, this will become relevant for other people we're trying to train and lead. So my husband, he does not have, admittedly, faith. He really struggles with faith, whether it's faith in the church, faith that we will be financially okay one day. So this causes him, he just doesn't believe in anything besides his own power to work and make things happen. There's nothing, he just struggles with the idea. And he is grateful that I have a huge faith in something higher, but he doesn't have it. He also really has struggled with my nonstop mindset training for him, whether he likes it or not. And suddenly it occurred to me, he doesn't believe in the mindset training because he has no faith. It's the same thing. Like, you have to have faith that what you're training your brain to create is going to happen, or it truly won't. If you don't have faith, and you don't have to have faith in God, but you have to have faith in some kind of higher purpose, and let go and realize that you can create things by saying it over and over and over again and working to it. Does that make sense? So if you get people on your team that really struggle with faith, that's going to be something, mindset is so critical to the success of our business. That's going to be an area that they're going to struggle with. You think? That was kind of my, it all came together, why he so always just smiles and is like, go ahead with your mindset training. Go ahead with your positive affirmations every single day. We're still broke, because he doesn't have that. He doesn't lead with his heart. He leads with his mind. So a lot of people really lead with their mind and they're not capable of leading with their heart. So this is what Les Brown wants us to do. He wants us to learn to trust our heart. So what he wants you to do, he says, together the heart and the mind are unstoppable. But I was listening to another training and I think I shared it with you guys, with Lori Harrison, about logic. Like, logic is the biggest dream killer ever. You know, logic says that you cannot be a diamond in 2 years, but your heart says it can. But logic is the biggest dream killer. So sometimes, clearly we need our mind to be smart and to do tasks and things. But if you can learn to work with your heart and your passion, I think it's going to make a huge difference in how you move forward. So he wants you to create 3 goals: a personal goal, a financial goal, and a community goal. They can be small goals, but they need to be truly connected in your heart. And he says about the community goal, here's what he says: think about your social contribution. What in your community will be different because you showed up? Horace Mann said, we should be ashamed to die until we've made some major contribution to humankind. So I haven't figured out my community goal yet. I kind of have, but I'm trying to figure out how it would possibly fit into my schedule. So we'll have, so you're going to come up with 3 goals, but here's a few more things that he shares, and then he has tips on how to kind of get to those goals to make sure that they are coming from your heart. He says, how do I learn my path? How do I listen to the universe and find my place in the divine plan? What is my path, and what do I need to do to get on that path? These questions can be difficult to answer because when you think about them, you're surrounded by noise. There is hum all around you, a static like that of TV that is always buzzing away in the background. Your computer is within reach. Your phone is in your pocket or your lap. There are people all around you giving advice, telling your opinions, and generally talking your ear off. With all of that noise, how can you truly find your path and your true goals that God wants you to be on? So here are the steps that he wants us to do, and they're super simple, but we're going to have to, as moms, figure out how to fit these into the day. So journaling, which I loved because I journal anyway, but he wants you to do, he says, journal every day and don't allow your mind to overtake it. Lead with your heart and let your heart wander and your everything wander until it slowly allows your desires to peek through.
Hey, book club.
It's not a book club. It's team.
Hey, team.
Team call. But the more you write, so here's the other thing. This is going to be new to me, but I love this because my mother-in-law also bought me a book that has each of these steps he wants us to do are in this book, and I'm supposed to do them for 40 days. And she bought it for me at Christmas. I didn't open it until late last week. And I'm like, oh my goodness, God's trying to tell me something, because they all go together. Meditation. And you don't have to be like crazy meditator. He says you can even just sit in a comfy chair, but somewhere where it's quiet and peaceful, and just focus on your breathing. Now, here's what he said in this. I was glad to read because you guys we're all so much alike in this area. He says, when you start to feel yourself slip away, your brain is going to kick into high gear. There will be a million different things vying for your attention. Those thoughts may get progressively more uncomfortable. That's all right. Just let your mind, that's just your mind trying to stop you from accessing your heart. If it isn't used to you letting go like this, it's pulling out all the stops to divert you away from your Zen state. He says, don't try to stop it. Don't try to slow all of those thoughts down. Let them just go, and then they'll be done. And you will make it to a quiet state. And then just sit quietly, for a little bit. I'm thinking mine's going to maybe last 15 minutes max. I'm not really sure how long. It may be like in the bathroom, which I don't even hardly go to the bathroom without somebody walking in. Anyway, I know, I'm just preaching to the choir. He says, when you come out of your meditative state, allow yourself some time to readjust back into the world around you. then take out your pen and notebook and start journaling. Just write down whatever comes to you. You may find that some of your greatest realizations surface once you've opened yourself up entirely. And then he talks about feel deeper, really allowing your emotions to flow and giving your permission to feel emotions. He says at first, so many of us hold back our emotions, whether it's crying or anxiety or depression, because we try to keep it hidden from everybody else, and we try to be these strong, super capable women. But he said a little bit of letting, once you start to let them flow, they actually will mellow out, because instead of keeping everything in and then exploding, if we just kind of let out our emotions as they occur, we are much less likely to have explosions or huge depression, because we just are working through it as it comes. So mindful practices of just being in the now. He says, you know, stop and smell the roses. Stop and listen to the birds chirping. Like, instead of rushing here and there on our phone, you know, yelling at the kids, like, take a moment to like be at peace. Look at the color of paint on the wall. He says you have a purpose. In order to fulfill that purpose, you need to know what it is. And it all starts with quieting the noisy din around you and listening. Your heart will take over from there. So that's it. So that's the first law. So we have to be quiet a little every day, and we have to write down what speaks to our heart. So yes, Jenny, can you unmute yourself? You want me to?
I can.
Okay.
I thought you said there were 4. Maybe I didn't write them down because I wrote journaling, meditation, feeling emotions,
Feel
getting them
deeper.
out.
Mindful practices. And that's the just being in the now.
Oh, I just combined those. Okay, mindful practices.
He says the important thing here is to listen without judgment. Simply take in what is around you and process it the moment it happens. This will help to clear your mind, and it'll allow you to better focus on listening to your intuition instead of thinking about your laundry list of things that need to get done, the future and the past. So I think this whole first learning to listen to our heart is really about learning to, he could have also titled it, Learning to Quiet Your Mind.
Totally.
Do you think? Go ahead, Tiffany.
So I had done a study on meditation in a religion class back in college. And one thing that helped me with learning to meditate, especially with the type A kind of mind moving, he said it's like you're sitting at the bank of a river and you see all these thoughts, they float on by, and it's your choice whether you go out and grab it or you let it go by. So you may have this thought come into your head, but you can choose whether to keep going with it or you can let it go. And so visually, as I'm a visual person, that really helped me say, okay, just because I think this thought doesn't mean I have to keep going, and you let it go by. And then eventually I was able to ignore the thoughts in the river and just focus on me.
I like that. I love that visual because that makes way more sense. It's exactly what he's saying as far as letting it go, but I can visualize that now. I can kind of see them going.
Yeah. So, and for me, that's what I visualize when I'm meditating. I'm like, I'm sitting at the river and I let them go.
I love that. That's awesome. Other thoughts? Deanna, you got anything? Are you working? Okay.
I think it would be, it makes me think, I've been thinking about putting a yoga class in somewhere because I think that would be nice. And now I'm like, maybe that could be an avenue that I could at least channel some time to try this.
Well, and I think just slowly fitting it in, like even if we just take 15 minutes, if it means we have to wake up 15 minutes early before anybody else wakes up, maybe that's what we do, you know, because I know you guys are all exactly the same as me. As soon as the children are up, we do not sit down until they are all asleep, you know? We just go. So it might just be an extra, maybe I wake up at 6 instead of 6:15 in the morning. I don't know.
Sorry.
The number. What, Jenny, are you already waking up like at 4? Tell me.
My alarm went off at 4:40 today. It's okay. what's 4:30 among friends, right?
Let me ask you this. At your gym, since Will's already at the child care place, is there like a sauna you could go to? Does your gym have a sauna you could sit in for a few minutes?
Well, yeah, I could just sit poolside even. They have a steam room that is, oh my gosh. I wouldn't be meditating in there. I'd be thinking I can't breathe. I'm suffocating. But yeah, there's a quiet place I could go while Will's in there for a few minutes. That's a good idea.
You know, just kind of take that minute before you grab him and
Cleanse.
listen to your heart. Yay.
Sounds like a song. Go Roxette.
I love them. I think I went through their cassettes over and over because I listened to them so many times they broke.
Yes.
Okay, next I want to share. So Jenny listened to this in her, it was posted in both of our 90-day trainings today. And it's a call by Kelli Lee, who's a diamond now. But I took notes on it because I loved it so much. And it's really nothing new, but I feel like I just felt for some reason that I should share it again. But she talks about 5 reasons that people fail at Plexus and 5 reasons that people succeed. So I'm going to start with the reasons people fail first. The first is mindset. Ding, 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 ding. Common thread. So here's just kind of some things she says. People are paralyzed by fear. They're too afraid to follow up. Negative thoughts automatically pop into their head. So I've been thinking about this lately and wanted to share it on the call because I don't know if any of you guys are experiencing this, but this helped me a lot when I started the what to say. I still reached out to people, but I reached out to people but I believed that they would be judging me when I reached out, that they would think either what's Christy up to, or these products really won't work, or these products won't be for me. But you know, people are not going to be as excited about this as I am. And I had to change my mindset and truly believe that when I share these, that the people are going to understand that I'm coming from my heart and I'm sharing them because they're going to help them and that they're going to love it. I believe that people are going to be excited about what I share with them. You know, is that true 100% of the time? No, but because I truly believe that people are excited for me to share Plexus with them, I don't have that fear of sharing with them. Does that make sense? The other part of mindset is sometimes people are used to being employees. You know, they're used to people telling them what to do, when to do it, and they're not real independent thinkers. I don't think that's so much the case with the 4 of us. But again, I'm training you. We have people on our team that maybe are waiting to be handheld, that hopefully will watch this later, or you will have people join your team and helping them, you know, get through that mindset of they're an entrepreneur now. They own a business and they can do great things with it if they choose to. The other negative mindset is people who are led by what others think of them. So they're so worried about what somebody's going to think about them if they post on Facebook or if they, you know, reach out to them on a message. And just don't be. Every time that happens, go back to the pack of gum analogy. It may not be right for them right now. You know, I was on a phone call today. She called while I was at the gym. So I took it, talked to her the whole time I was on the elliptical, and then had to go sit in a chair and talk to her for over a year. I've been trying to get her to try Plexus because she has MS. Today, you know what? On Saturday, I am taking products to her and she's going to pay them. I said, I'm even like not even making her pay full price. I said, but don't be a jerk. You got to try them. You have to use them. But I can't tell you how many times I've reached out to her. And today I was like, I am not trying to make a dime off of you. I truly believe that these are going to help you so much. And I am your friend. So that's why I keep pestering you, not to be a nuisance, but because I know that you're going to love this. And I truly believe that in my heart. So focus on that. Don't worry about what other people think. truly believe, say to yourself, I'm going to reach out to Susie and she is going to be so excited. I am calling her about Plexus. Just believe that. So number 2, they don't have written goals, daily goals. They do a little bit here and there, and then they wait to see what's going to happen because they don't have a daily action plan. And your daily action plan can look different every day. You may sit down on Sunday and go, oh my gosh, I've got all of these things with the kids on this day and this. So on this day, I'm going to dedicate 15 minutes and I'm going to do X, Y, Z, because you already know you're crazy busy that day. And then you may look and you go, Tuesday, I'm pretty free Tuesday. I'm going to put in an hour on Tuesday, but this is what I'm going to do. Lay out your plan for the week. And you could do it like before you go to bed for the next day. How much time can I dedicate to this, and what am I going to be working on? Number 3, they don't understand the necessity of personal growth. And this is really huge. She said, and I won't go into it because you can look it up because you're all crazy smart and possibly have already read it. But if you don't know about John Maxwell's Law of the Lid, you can YouTube that and listen to a number of talks where people have recorded him talking about it, or probably even an audible on it. But Law of the Lid, essentially, there are 10 levels, I think, of leadership, 9 levels of leadership. And let's say I am a level 6 leader. I can never lead anybody that is a 7, 8, or 9, which means I will never attract anybody to my team that is a 7, 8, or 9. I will only attract lower leaders. So you have to grow your leadership lid, because the greater leader you are, the more attractive you are to other leaders. And that will, the stronger leaders you have on your Plexus team as business builders, the more successful you're going to be. So, but if you're only leading at like a level 2, you're only attracting levels 1 and 2 to your team. And you want people on your team who can lead a team well, because they're going to grow a team of their own and do great things. So look up Law of the Lid and then just choose. I have a list of personal growth books that I want to read, and I'm just working through them. I think I've gotten through probably 6 of them so far this year. I just, don't laugh, Jenny. Some on Audible and lots of reading, but it's just,
I'm way too busy watching motivational videos from my team and from Erin and Natalie. Way to be a leader. I'm on it.
Pick an Audible and listen to it in the car. I think my family hates being in my car because unless they're all in the car and we're like going to dinner, there is no music played. It's my roving university. Rob just rolls his eyes. What are we listening to today? I'm like, we're learning. We are learning all of the time. And you should see some of the things I write on. Like, I'll be driving and then all of a sudden somebody will say something great on my Audible, and I'm like, on my sidearm writing on the back of a receipt. But Isaac taught me how to use the notes on my iPhone. So good now. Number 4, they don't grasp the power of momentum. I loved this so much. She said this was from Leslie Zane. Don't slow your prospecting pace to match the decision pace. So let's say you've been talking to 3 people and they say they're going to order and blah, blah, blah. So you focus all your attention on those 3 people until they order. And then they order, and now you got nobody in your pipeline. Constantly be prospecting, because people are going to decide much, much slower than you're going to be prospecting. So, and sometimes that's hard. Like, I look back at my daily action stack and I'm like, I've reached out to the same people every day for a week and no new people. So what am I going to do if all of a sudden they order? I'm starting from scratch. So you got to just be prospecting every day. And her 5th one is people quit too soon. And Jenny and I were talking about this before everybody else jumped on. But this is true story. And I know this because I invested thousands. I bet I invested $17,000 to start Face Cake Pops. Rob invested $140,000 to start his company. And you know, as an entrepreneur, when you invest that money, you don't expect to make a profit for 3 to 5 years. You hope to keep your head above water and earn enough to eat, but you don't expect to really earn a true profit for 3 to 5 years. We invested $34.95, and too many people, like 3 months later, are like, I'm not making any money. It's like I was a freaking scratch off lottery ticket for $34. And they scratched it and they lost. And somebody said no, and they throw their lottery ticket in the trash. That is not what we have here. We have to work hard. And she said, too often people grossly overestimate how quickly we will earn, and they grossly underestimate how much is on the horizon in 2 to 5 years. And then when she talks about how the 5 tips to succeed, we'll go along with that. But she said, Plexus works, the products work, the business works. The only time it doesn't is if people quit. We know that. We talk about that all the time. So here are the 5 reasons people succeed with Plexus. 1, they are an optimist. They dwell on the positive, and they truly believe in the good intentions of others. So she said, even when you're a true optimist, you don't take it personally when people stop ordering from you. You don't take it personally when they turn off their order. You realize that probably something is going on in their life that's either caused them to need to turn it off, or you see it as an opportunity to reach out to them and help them troubleshoot what's going on in their life and how you can help them. So instead of like when people turn off their order, saying, oh, I lost them, and being upset about it and being worried to reach out to somebody else, instead, you reach out to them and say, hey, what's going on? What can I help you with? How can I serve you? Number 2, they are.
I was just going to say, when I was listening to it, something I thought was really notable was they had done a survey of all the people who had become ghouls. Yeah, and almost exclusively they said they were optimists, and it was like, yes, I believe this is an optimistic group right here.
That's one of the best things about this business that you don't realize till you're working it, is you are literally surrounded by thousands, and you'll see this at convention. You are surrounded by thousands of hardworking, positive, uplifting women and some men. It's such a great circle to be a part of. In so many workplaces, you're surrounded by people that nag and complain and, work too hard, don't get paid enough. It's fantastic. It's a great group. Number 2 is the relationship builders. Continue to build strong, positive relationships always. They connect others to each other. And something really significant that she said also when talking to Jules is that always their teams are made up of great friendships. People really linking arms with their best friends in the world and getting successful at this together. Thanks for popping in, Deanna. Number 3 is self-motivated. They're in control of how they spend their time. Now, I'm going to touch on this because I don't know if anybody else struggles with this, but Jenny does, and I called her out on it. You may have seen this on our Going Gold chat. Jenny's number 1 complaint is she doesn't have enough time. Now, I recognize this because my husband used to says it all the time. And I really struggled. I didn't struggle. In December, Deanna can tell you, I made cake pops for like 16, 18 hours a day for like 10 days just to get everything done. And the amount that I had to do and that kept coming in it didn't make sense that I was going to be able to get it done. But every single day I woke up and said, today's going to be a great day. There is plenty of time today for me to get everything done that I need to get done. I am a good time manager, and I can accomplish all the things that I need to do today. Now, for that to be successful, you do need have your goals laid out. You know, if it's the night before, write out what your day's going to look like. You know, show yourself that it all fits into the day and be very strategic about your time. But that's one of my affirmations is I have plenty of time today to get all the things done that I need to do. So anyway, self-motivated again, they don't wait to be told what to do. They actively build belief in themselves and extend it to their teams. And that's going to go in line again with personal development. You know, your ability to be really self-motivated grows as you are growing in your personal development, because you feel more capable of what you're doing, and you feel more confident in helping others get motivated. Number 4 is be coachable. I feel like this is probably one of my strongest suits. I have felt like a sponge in every course I've ever taken, in any book I've ever read. I just want to soak everything in. Like when Erin is talking or leading something, or Natalie's doing something, I just sit and soak it all in and take hundreds of pages of notes. Deanna can tell you my note taking is a little obnoxious, but I just love it. Right, Deanna? I soak it all in. So being coachable means having a student mentality, being not easily offended. And I hadn't thought about this, but this is true. Like if you are really coachable, you can't be easily offended. You have to be open to, you know, on this, for instance, me reaching out. Like if Jenny had been offended when I said, your negative self-talk about not having enough time, if that offended her, we'd be in trouble, because I wouldn't be able to really coach and lead her without constantly worrying of hurting her feelings. You know what I mean? So not easily offended, looking for ways to grow their character, and growth is more important than their ego. So just being willing, knowing, having that knowledge that you need to grow in some area every day is really, you know, you decide. I mean, I'm sharing those crazy motivational videos, Jenny, that take up all your time because they totally get me so excited.
I don't not love them. I love them.
So number 5, they are masters of consistency. They work their business each day. Emotions don't determine their activity. So if somebody tells you no, it doesn't mean you don't work for the rest of the day. You stay on your plan, you stay on your action steps. And she talked a lot about, Jenny, you may be able to phrase this better, but you don't have to work this business full time to be successful. But if you work it really diligently, part-time, consistently, let's say you only have 15 minutes a day to work Plexus, but every single day you work it for 15 minutes a day, you will be successful. What I have learned is you slowly find more time to work it as you're more successful. But if you just work it 1 hour on Mondays, and then you don't come back to it again until next Monday, you're going to be slower to start up. You're going to have more struggles. You're going to face more fears and doubt. But if just how much every time you can commit to every single day, you know, and take Sundays off or whatever, like take time for your family. I know a lot of Jules don't work on Saturdays at all. That's like totally dedicated to their family. You know, what I've heard a lot is they don't hardly work at all on Saturdays, and they'll come back on like usually in Sunday evenings. They feel like a lot of moms are online Sunday evenings. They're kind of settling down from everything, and they'll work it some on Sunday evenings. Or it's Monday through Friday. It totally depends on your family and your schedule, but having a set course where you do a little bit all the time will result in huge success. That's all I got.
Go creatures of habit. Creatures of habit. Oh,
Yes.
Sorry, Deanna.
So do you guys have questions, thoughts? I'm going to stop recording That way you can chat all you want. Hold on.